Hello, welcome back to Data Management 3. My name is Annie Zhao, and I'm going to be taking you through our third and final video where we are grouping and summarizing data for visualization. Okay, so from where we left off in the last video, the region year data is ready. What about our country year data? Right now, we still have all 180 or so countries in the world, but we only really want China and US for this picture. Let's use the select function to select GWNO, year, and these two measurements of land orientation on line 110. And we're going to use the filter command to keep just the observations for those two countries that we want. So essentially, we will keep GWNO is equal to 2, that's the US, or if it's equal to 710, which is China. This filter command will give us a much smaller country year data object here. Now let's take a look at the structure of that. We have just 4 variables and 400 observations. It's still a lot of years, but we just have the 2 countries without using a summarize command. So we didn't collapse this data down, we just filtered out a subset of the observations. Since we didn't collapse the data, it's still a data frame. We still have GWNO, we still have year, but we're in really good shape. We have 2 data frames. They both have GWNO and year, and they uniquely identify observations in both of them. So they're set up in a way we can merge them together. So we're going to use the full join command on line 119, and I'm going to create a new object called forFigure. This is a data object we're going to be making our figure with. I've got to specify the 2 different data frames I'm going to merge together. And so it is dat US China, dat reg means, and I'm going to merge by GWNO and by year. They uniquely identify all the observations in each data set. We will run this command and we'll create this new forFigure object, which has looks like 490 observations and 7 variables. Yay, so this forFigure object is all ready to go to make a gorgeous picture that can compare the evolution of economic structure in 2 different individual countries over time with changes in the regional average of that same variable. It's not tidy data because we have 2 different units of analysis in the same data set, but it's going to be a very pretty picture. Now let's save this data object so that we can load it in later to the script that will make the actual picture. We could combine those 2 scripts together, but for now, let's keep the processes separate and let's wrap up what we're doing here. To save this new forFigure object I have worked so hard to create, I'm going to use the save command here. And then the forFigure is the object I want to save. And then the file name is going to be at the end of it. And the default is starting my file path, which goes all the way back to the folder on my computer that houses the training data folder. That's also the same folder that houses my training output folder. So this is what I want to save my new data file to. Per our videos about organization for collaboration, I want to be really detailed in this file name. So China, US, Europe, North America, means, and then my initials, and then the date. That's pretty much as much detail as I can provide in a reasonable length file name. And I'm saving this as an RDS file because it's just a single data frame. We can save more complex data objects as R data files. .rds is going to be the most efficient for something like this. I'm going to run that save command, and the way you know it works is if you check in that training output folder if it's in there. I should see a new .rds file with this title. If I don't, I need to figure out what's going on. So that is how you get a dataset ready for figure creation. Before I end this module, I would like to take you guys through a very simple ggplot made by the data we've been working with. We're going to take the dataset we just made and turn it into a graph. But because we aren't working with data visualization in this video, I'm going to briefly gloss over the ggplot we're making. And so essentially, I'm going to use a pivot wider to make the data frame something that we can be plotting instead of just combining the columns, the countries in each column. And essentially, I'm going to use the ggplot package to title and label and then plot the lines of the US and China as two different colors. And then finally, I'll be able to run this code, and this will open up a plot for us, which we can take a look at right here. As you can see, it shows the changes in our variable over time, which is so cool to look at. And this is also a great place for us to end our Data Management 3 module. This is just a really brief look at what we could do in terms of visualization, but to learn more about visualization, please check out our data visualization modules. That is it for me and the Data Management 3 module. Thank you, and have an amazing rest of your day.